Hey friends, sitting in my driveway as I often do to just collect my thoughts before I go into the house, to kind of put into my mind, sort of what my to-do list is and how I'm going to tackle it. And today, though, I was praying. Good morning, everyone. Today, I've been praying audibly. My prayer life, I don't know about many of you, goes through seasons. Seasons of audible prayers, seasons of embodied prayers, meaning that where I'm not actually praying with words, but with thoughts, with movements, with breath. And it's been, these audible prayers have been far and few in between in this season. Not like earlier seasons, or previous seasons, not earlier, previous seasons when, listen, the way that I was on fire would, if I sensed that a prayer needed to be lifted up, baby, I was in it and could reach the other side very quickly. Life experiences and moments, shifts and ways of being have caused me or make praying looks different. That's what I want to say. It looks different. And the weight of the world is such, friends, that I am not even quite sure at times. I don't often have the words to say because what I am seeing, sensing, feeling, touching, witnessing, hearing, holding is so overwhelming, that it is so exhausting. It is so tragic. It is so mind blowing that I often don't have words, Ashe. Good morning to all of you that are jumping on. I often do not have words to give. And so I imagine I'm coming on this morning to remind those of us who may be in a similar season to not forget to breathe. I don't want us to forget the power of breath. The power of breath to support us in what we're experiencing and or seeing, to remind us that even in the midst of shifting and change and tragedy and grief and loss, that breath remains. That's it. That's just what I want to say. It's heavy, it's weighty. And as as the words were coming to me, I was praying on one end. Shout out to one of my sorors who's going to be delivering today, delivering her second child. And I was lifting her and her spouse's name and their 10-year-old's name, is praying for her body to do what it needs to do as life is coming forward. And in the next breath, I was praying for another soror whose father just transitioned on yesterday, and who, while having a complex relationship with her father, who is navigating the tension of relief, both relief and grief. while also navigating and reading a story about the genocide being caused by the Sudanese Arabs in Sudan, who are engaging in ethnic cleansing for non-Arab Sudanese people in Darfur. That means for Black folk, that obliterating a refugee camp of 30,000 people over a period of 2 days. And while many of us, our attention is on other parts of the world, we don't really recognize that we need to walk and chew gum at the same time. That we need to be concerned about all parts of the world where ethnic cleansing and genocide is taking place. And so, where are the conversations about what is happening in the Sudan from broader publics? Where are the calls and the cries from broader publics about what is happening in the Congo? We need to do both. We are required to do both. It is absolutely necessary that we do both. And so that's heavy. Also, my daughter sent a video from her she's in high school now, but her former middle school. And it is a video that is now has gone viral, at least here in the triad of North Carolina, where we reside, where a young black man, a young black boy, between the ages of 13 and 14, pounds on this girl because she said she did not want to be in a relationship with him, and because she accidentally brushed up against him. He threw her body on the floor and commenced to punching her. I don't know what the school, what the policy is with teachers not being able to break up fights or whatever, but out of the corner of the video, you can see adults standing at the door yelling, "Stop," but no one came to rescue this baby. I'm sorry. It's pulling up my own trauma. No one came to this little girl's rescue in the moment. They may have come after the moment, but they did not come in the moment. And this 7th or 8th grader is screaming, "Help me," as this boy is pounding on her. And so as I'm driving home, I just started to pray out loud. And the prayers were really just breath. I tried to mutter a few words, and then I just started breathing like, and in those breaths, hearing I'm trying to explain, hearing if I had the words, what I might say. And as I continued to breathe, then I started to connect with what is the trauma around so much of what's going on, but how it intersects with my own lived experience, which then opened the path for me to pray for my ancestors, my unhealed ancestors, ancestors who I had not even really thought about their healing. Because just as some of us Christians who perceive Jesus as a genie in a bottle, and all you got to do is ask, and the door will be open, so forth and so on, that the blessings will pour down that we don't have room enough to bear, is for those of us who also venerate ancestors. We have to be careful not to do that same kinds of thing, but that to recognize that all death is not for dying, and that as long as we say the names, as we continue to say the names of those who have moved to the other side, they continue to live. But we need to also be concerned about the health of their living. Transitory spaces, spiritual spaces, do not mean that, at least I know in the Christian sense, we identified as there's no more pain, there's no more struggle, and that ancestors are at peace. But I push back against that a little bit, in my understanding of African cosmologies and some African spiritual traditions, and indigenous traditions, that those who transition, if there was healing that was required on this side, they possibly transition needing that same healing, that what was left undone, if they transitioned in a particular way, that may have caused confusion, if it was rapid, if it was unexpected, if it was tragic, that there are ways that they need our assistance and need our prayers, for getting to, for ascending to the ancestral realm. And so, as much as we call their names in memory, we're calling their names to do work for us, in the spirit realm. But it is like we are calling someone to do work that is not well, right? That needs their own healing, and so that breath is connecting me to that. So much like when I started going live in 2016 in August, because I just wanted to chat, and I wanted to experience what I was experiencing in community. It is the same reason that I am here today. I did not want to feel the weight or carry the weight by myself. So I got on live, with the hope that we will make an even distribution. And some of you may say, I can't carry another thing. I don't have it. Get somebody else to do it. And it's possibly heavy because we're not sharing. So for wherever you are, hey Dean, wherever you are in this moment, come on and let's take some breaths, right? If you have the ability to just ground yourself and to put your feet flat, even if you're driving, don't close your eyes. Even if you're at your desk, don't close your eyes. If you're walking, if you're whatever it is that you do, yes, Dean, yes, yes, yes. Let's just pray using our breath. So we want to take in our inhales. We are inhaling and acknowledging the heaviness. We are acknowledging the imbalance. We are acknowledging the tension. We are acknowledging the weight. We are acknowledging the grief. We are acknowledging the frustration. We are acknowledging the wear and tear. We are acknowledging the loneliness. We are acknowledging all of those things that keep us at the brink or in full-blown anxiety. We are acknowledging the things that we seemingly as individuals it feels like we have no control of or cannot attend to. So in our inhale, that is what we are acknowledging. In our exhale, we are releasing. We are releasing our need to control. We are releasing doubt. We are releasing feeling helpless amidst world issues. But we are exhaling in the way that reminds us that if we collectively bring our breath to bear, that we can shift. We are exhaling to make room, Ashe, to make room to hold that which is coming, to make room to hear, to make room for clarity. So I'm not on any of my big apparatus, so I can't tell. I can see a few names and I can't see who's with me or not. So I'm just making the assumption and believing that there are those of you who are with me and are doing. So at 3, we are going to inhale, and at 3, we are going to exhale, and at 3, we are going to do it again. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Inhale it all. Now, when you inhale, your stomach should be expanding. And when you exhale, I like to make an audible noise as my stomach deflates, as a way to also just move through the body and push it out. Come on, let's inhale again. 1, 2, 3. I want you to move through your body. Roll your shoulders if you have that level of ability. Roll. Begin to move the tension through your body. If you're able to get up, wherever you are, begin to move around. Whatever movement, shout out to my guide, Ashley Nobukosi Thomas, who tells me to just begin to move, that you can move the energy in your body, move it beyond, because y'all, energy doesn't die. It just shifts, and we have to move it and manipulate it. Now ease into your day. This is not magic. It doesn't mean that immediately your problems or what ails you is going to disappear. It's not magic at all. It is, though, maneuvering the energy so that you get to determine how you will respond. Ashe, yeah, God. And even with that shift, wow, I hear some words coming. For those all over this world that are overcome and overwhelmed with grief that has come as a result of loss, be it loss at the hands of a disease, loss at the hands of human beings running governments that seek to overthrow populations of difference, whether it is of loss of the unexpected, those things that happen beyond our control, natural and or human-led, whatever we may be experiencing, For those who are experiencing the loss of position, the loss of stability, the loss of love. The loss of love, it's heavy. May the wound be tended to. May the awareness be clear. May recognition come freely. And may the space be cleared. May the grieving come in the awareness. Whew. This loss of love thing, my God, I had to take my vest off. I did not plan to be on here like this. And there are two intense feelings that are coming up for me, through me. One is the loss of love. This is intimate partner love. The loss that comes as a result of a transition. Whether it is a transition that was expected or unexpected. The sense of confusion and anger and just utter bewilderment. So much so that it is immobilized. And so I'm just naming, I think, whomever, I'm naming the feelings that whomever has not been able to name, has been fearful to name, has felt guilty to name. That in naming it, we can acknowledge it and begin to work to move through it and to use it in our healing process. And let me say that it's hard for people, beings in the other realm, to make contact or communication with those barriers in place. That energy has to be shifted and moved around so that you can get the contact and the communication that you've been praying for. Ashe. The other piece around this love that's coming through is twofold. One, it is the loss of love, the ending of a relationship, and it is also unrealized love. Baba, that the heaviness for someone of us in this moment, in this community, the loss of love, and both unrealized love. And so you too have to breathe through this dimension. You have to breathe your unwillingness to talk about it, your unwillingness to breathe through it, keeps it trapped in your body. And as long as it stays in your body, then it will turn on your body. That it will become toxic, and it will become a disease that becomes something chronic, that is diseased. Not talking about it is not a sign of strength. Keeping it pushing is not a sign of strength. As the young folks say, we need to spin the block on some of our trauma. Spinning the block meaning we need to come back at it again. Because the very things that you are attempting to pray for, or possibly the reason why we have no words, again, the same as in the other example, it's the block. Oh, Jesus. Now, hear me. I've not said anything about forgiveness. I said release. To me, those are not synonymous. Now, some will tell you that you need both to do. That's not what's coming through me right now. I'm simply saying release it. Release them. Release it. Release them. Yes, Baba. Yes, Baba, Daniel Black. That breath is trying to purge what the body can't carry. Yeah. Listen, I hear somebody saying, well, how will I know if I'm doing it right? Because as you continue to do it, you will begin to feel more open. And as you begin to feel more open, you will begin to it should return taste. It should return touch. Your sensitivity will heighten. For some of us, the tears will come. And for some of us, like for me, what just happened is the words came. Oh, Baba, that's so good. Breath is trying to purge what the body can't carry, my God. Stop holding your breath. You can breathe now. Hear me, even if you are in a moment and or, yeah, God, Jesus. Even if you are in a moment and or season of hardship, of uncertainty, your breath is required to move you through it. Stop holding your breath. Yes, Elizabeth Ann Jefferson. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna go. You know what just came to me too? Yes, Baba. Every time we exhale, God sends the inhale. Mm, mm. And here's the inhale. Yay, God, today. So remember earlier, I said what we're exhaling and inhaling. And now, thank you to Baba Omatosho, also known as Dr. Daniel Black, who also sends us the message that every time we exhale, God sends the inhale. But you got to let it exit. It has to exit so that it can come in. So let's stop holding those tears. Stop holding. Some of us have a lifetime's worth. Some of us need to journey with a guide because of what we are holding. Thank you, Sister Dr. Candace, because blessings to you as you head to San Antone, because what we are holding, the wounds that we are holding are like adolescence, toddler age. And so we carry at the point that we stop breathing is at the age that we are. Jesus. In the spirit. Catch that. Woo! At the point that we stop breathing, that is the age we are in the spirit. Love you, Deanie. It doesn't matter what caused the stop of breath, but we cannot grow unless we decide and are determined to breathe again. I hear those opening words in Tony K. Bambara's book, The Salt Eaters, the words of is it the antagonist or protagonist? The words that say, do you want to be well? Because being well is no trifling matter. If you want to be well, friends, I'm talking to myself. Yeah, and the beauty of even that prayer language for me, I use that prayer language as how Buddhists use chanting, for Buddhists who engage and recite the Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, the vibration that comes for some of us who engage in the speaking of tongues, that are removed from the theology around how we got to it. Use it still as a practice because audio, orally and orally, we know that sound reverberates, that sound shifts. And so when I don't have the words, that the intelligible words to say, then I release the need for for the pre-language of the psyche, which is called heteroglossia, the pre-language of the psyche is called heteroglossia, then I release the need for that to make sense, and allow the sounds to speak, and the sound join with the breath. Hey, woo! Is that energy that travels to those hidden spaces, to those crevices, to those wounds. Friends, today, what are you holding? It's heavy, collectively and individually. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down so that clarity can come. Put it down so that you can hear what your offering is, what your response should be. Put it down so that the way can be made clear, so that not just your individual ancestors, but your collective ancestors, so that they can actually move and work. Put it down, put it down. Breathe through it, breathe, breathe. Breathe through your heartbreak, acknowledge it, and then breathe through your heartbreak so that it can mend. You are deserving of a mended heart. The ultimate being loves you. You are worthy of it. Let this repair happen. Be renewed by your breath. Be revived by your breath. Be intentional with your breath. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo.